GraphQL in super quick fashion. So this is the vulnerabilities list using GraphQL, nice and simple. The main difference between the GraphQL one and the REST one is this bit here. So instead of using Vuex to fetch all of the vulnerabilities and things, this is where we're using GraphQL. So we don't need to make any fire off any actions when the component loads to say go fetch me the vulnerabilities. We just put in this Apollo block here and we say for vulnerabilities I want this vulnerabilities query, which is just this bit of GraphQL here. We return all the vulnerabilities and all of these nodes and then the page info as well. I'll get to that a little later. And then what we're doing, ignore this. This is just me hard coding the project path for now because we don't have it. We do need it for the GraphQL stuff because we need to pass it in here. And then we get the first however many vulnerabilities, which I have set to page size, which down here I've set to 10. So we fetch, where's it gone? Apollo. So on the first load, we go and fetch the first 10 vulnerabilities. And then ignore this kind of, all I'm doing is saying vulnerabilities is equal to the nodes on project vulnerabilities nodes. And then when we get our first result, set initial vulnerabilities load to true so that we know vulnerabilities have loaded. And then set page info in a similar way to how we got the data here. So this is just the Elvis operator to say response, data, project, vulnerabilities, page info. If there's ever an error, we say there was an error loading the vulnerabilities and just set that to true. This next page method is basically the same as it was before. Only we first check the page info to see if there is a next page. And then we say, okay, get this vulnerabilities query and just fetch some more vulnerabilities. The first one we want to fetch, we want to fetch the same amount as last time. So again, this is 10. And all of them after end cursor, which is the sort of ID for the last vulnerability we fetched previously. So, if we have 10, get me the next 10 after the 10th one. And then this just maps everything so that instead of setting it to the ones that were returned, we add them to the ones we already have. And then page size and observer here, it's not too important. This is basically the same. The only difference being the pagination, because pagination doesn't work with GraphQL right now. So I've had to do it this way, which is using an observer. So basically every time this appears on the page, intersect gets called and then next page is fired, which gets us more vulnerabilities. And you can kind of see that here if I go slow enough, or fast enough even. Let me refresh. So this then becomes an infinitely scrolled list because pagination's totally broken. So if I scroll down, we load more vulnerabilities in every time we get to the bottom of the page, and that'll go forever. So this is hacked together. It's not ideal, but it shows how you can kind of do the basic GraphQL stuff to get it running on the front end. This is just for the list. There's no filtering or anything in there. If we add it to the dashboard, that's obviously going to make a slight difference. But there's some basics of how it all kind of works.